from clarkwoods.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 227. I'm Chris.
And I'm Steve.
And
I took an extra beat there. I don't know why.
I don't know. I was taking some extra beats and some making some extra emphasizing of the incorrect syllable. Was
it time for another one of those block rockin' beats?
When you know when exactly is it time for the original block rockin' beat? That's what I want to know. I mean, you know, we find out, you know, during the course of the song that it's time for another one of those block rockin' beats. But what precipitated the first?
I mean, I think
block
it was
rockin' beat.
If you were playing some loud beats originally, like, you know, this song is
not Beats by Dre.
The headphones?
I mean, they could be Beats by Dre, but not Beats by Dre through Beats by Dre.
I mean, if they were through sound canceling headphones, it's doubtful it would rock a block.
This is true. Unless the block was your head, because you're a blockhead, because you're Charlie Brown.
Wilma? Oh, wait, no. That was fucking Fred Flintstone.
Block rockin' beats. Like, where does the first
The
one?
song was written because someone had a beat that rocked a block. Mm-hmm. And they were like, you know what? Let's write another song. Okay,
but I need to know, and I'm going to see if I can ask the internet, what was the beat? What was the block rockin' beat that made them have to write that song?
Okay, well then, yeah, hot at clarkwoods.com, do internet research for us.
Yeah.
And or that answer doesn't exist and make something up.
That was the Chemical Brothers was the name of that act.
Yeah. Musical trio?
Yeah.
Duo.
Big Block Rockin' Beats is a song by the British big beat trio, the Chemical Brothers.
You can have more than one brother.
Yeah.
This is a public pool.
It does not mention the way in which this was conceived. It's a sample. The vocal is a sample from American
I like
rapper.
how you say you're asking like our listeners to provide information, and then you're looking information up.
Wait. I didn't ask that. You asked that. I said I was going to look it up, and then you assumed that I was going to wait. I'm not going to wait. I don't have any patience. If they want to write to me, they better write to me through the time tunnel right now, and the email will show up in my inbox.
You're a boob.
I am what I eat. No, I don't eat boobs.
What? Who the fuck eats boobs? Well, I guess I do, because I do enjoy a nice chicken breast. Nice chicken tits for everybody.
I remembered before. So the reason that I was stuttering, that there were beats in my introduction, was that before the show I had opened a web browser, if you recall.
Yeah, and you were like, "Why am I opening another web browser beats?"
And I could not remember why I opened it, but then in the middle of the intro, I remembered why I had opened it, and now I have up in front of me the thing that I was searching for, that I couldn't remember I was searching for. Would you like to know what that thing is?
Sure.
227 is an American sitcom that aired on NBC from September 14th, 1985 to May 6th, 1990.
I've never heard of this show.
So I know you haven't, because last week when we were talking about what this week's episode was going to be, we mentioned 227, and I mentioned that it was a spin-off of the Jeffersons.
Okay.
Yeah. And now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it was not necessarily. So this article clarifies. It says the show was created as a starring vehicle for Marla Gibbs, who had become famous as Florence Johnston, the sassy maid on the Jeffersons. So it was a vehicle for the actress from the Jeffersons, but it was not.
And it was on for like how many years? 4?
September. So 85, yeah, 85, 86, 86, 87, 88, 89.
You don't have to list them. So 5 years.
No, 4. That's what.
4 seasons.
4 seasons, yes.
Just like the ones that we have nowadays.
The seasons? Yeah, we have
winter,
4.
spring, summer, or fall.
Do we really have 4 seasons though? I think the ozone is having something to say about that.
What, the guy from that pinball machine?
Is there a guy from a pinball machine called Ozone?
Yeah, it was Party Time, I think.
Sam Jackson.
Party Zone?
Maybe. Sam Jackson is Frozone. He's Frozone, which I got to say, whenever I hear that name, it reminds me of ice cream. And that just reminds me that this morning I was writing my novel. I was working on my novel, Exquisite Corpse, which is out in September. I'm very close to the end. But I was reworking a scene that takes place on the Boulevard in Lowell.
For those of you who don't know what the Boulevard in Lowell is, it's just a stretch of road that is parallel to the Merrimack River.
Yes, it actually is a boulevard, right? Like the name of it isn't the name of it something Boulevard?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, in any case,
it's also Route 113, I believe.
I think you're right. In any case, I was writing about this, and there's a scene that takes place there's a little pop-up stage that's there across the street from Heritage Farms Ice Cream.
Yeah, and so like the Lowell Summer Concert Series, they'll have free concerts there, and then you can go across the street and get yourself an ice cream cone.
Yes, but what I was trying to remember, and I know this, but I'm at this stage in my writing where I don't trust anything that I think I know. And I wanted to go on the internet and make sure that I was right about milkshakes versus frappes. So that's where it started, and I was just making sure that my understanding, which I don't know why I doubted it.
The difference is that your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and a frappe doesn't.
That is one difference. Yes. I'm typing the very funny thing you said. So I think you should tell the audience what the difference, if you're from New England, is between a milkshake and a frappe.
There's an extra scoop of ice cream in a frappe. I don't remember.
You don't remember? Oh, okay. So it's not.
I haven't had a fucking frappe or a milkshake in a very long time.
Well, so maybe I feel a little bit better now about having doubted myself, because I thought it was one of those things that if I admitted that I was even the slightest bit unsure, they were going to revoke my masshole card.
Or does a milkshake not have ice cream?
Milkshake in New England does not have ice cream,
but
a frappe
does.
Yes. So the article that
But if you go to McDonald's and get a milkshake, it is nothing but ice cream, basically.
Basically, yeah. They take the soft serve machine. They put it into a cup, and I don't know if they add anything to make it more liquid than solid.
It's very solid, like when you first get that.
Yeah. And then they put in a mixer, because I know that when I would get them, I would ask for a chocolate shake, and at some McDonald's, the chocolate shake would actually be a chocolate shake. At others, it would be a vanilla shake with a little bit of chocolate sauce on the top of it that somebody had barely bothered to swirl into the vanilla.
Okay. Well, I think depending on the technology that they have, I think certain soft serve machines can inject the flavor prior to.
Right, but
they're all basically vanilla shakes with a little bit of flavor in it, you know. In fact, I think the last time I had a shake from McDonald's was it was a Shamrock shake.
I was going to say it's about that time of year, so that'd be something you'd be thinking about.
Yeah, and that was I think last time I had one of those was when around the time Becky and I started dating. So
wow, so wow. So a frappe is, and the article that I found was by somebody who used to work at Kimball Farm in Westford, Massachusetts, and she was describing to non-New Englanders what the difference was. And so having that confirmed, I went back to my writing, and then I opened another tab just to make sure that I wasn't crazy when I went to go use the term orange freeze. Do you know what an orange freeze is?
Hold on. I'm going to back up for a second.
Okay, all right.
So if you order a milkshake at Kimball's, you're just basically getting chocolate milk.
Well, or
whatever flavored milk.
Not exactly. So this was her point of part of the point of the article, because she raised that exact same question.
Well, she's a bright individual.
She was talking about how people from away, which at that point when she used that, I was like, she is She's not a true masshole anymore. She has moved away from New England, and she's using Maine terminology and applying it to a Massachusetts situation. It's like nobody from Massachusetts says "from away."
I have never heard anybody.
Somebody
say that.
from Maine will say "from away."
Is that like northern Maine? Like
in Maine, anyone from like Massachusetts or from anyone who doesn't know. Isn't local is from away.
Okay.
Right. That's it. It's a northern New England thing. It's not a suburban Boston, Massachusetts thing.
All right. There's so many colloquial expressions, Chris.
I'm a writer. I need to get this shit right.
Right.
Yeah. No pun intended.
All puns intended.
All puns intended. No, so oh gosh, now I got to look it up.
Are you looking up frap again?
Well, no, I wanted to answer your goddamn question.
Well, then answer it.
I have. Let's see. This will be from this morning. Before I looked up Batman and Brokeback Mountain.
Batback Mountain.
Batback Mountain.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, here it is from New England.
All the things I say can't be winners, Chris.
No. But most of them can, Steve. You're not batting 1,000, but I think your
no
average
one's
is pretty
batting
high.
1,000. Like even some of the best.
Okay, no, wait a minute.
Like home run hitters
on opening day, if a dude hits a home run, he is, or just even gets on base for at least that inning.
He is batting 1,000.
He's batting 1,000. Thank you.
But the amount of time you can sustain that,
right,
is next to impossible.
All right. So,
so I could have like episode 1 said something really funny and said, "Fuck you, we're not doing this anymore."
Yes. So, all right. So here is. Let me get her byline so I give proper credit.
Where
this is from
credit is due.
This is from Amy Tucker. The difference between a milkshake and a frap on New England Today Food. I will try, no promises, but I will try to put this in the show notes in case you would like to give it a clickety-click. Here's what Amy writes. She says, sometimes it got very who's on first kind of confusing.
I mean, if you were going to give it a clickety-click and you were Chris, it would be like loudly clickety-clicking.
Okay.
I just need to give
you
shit.
Out, give me shit about the
loud typing that you do.
The volume at which I type.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I type volumes, and so I type at a large volume.
I speak volumes, Chris.
Okay. Sometimes it got very who's on first kind of confusing, writes Amy. Here's a typical recreation. Customer, I'd like a chocolate milkshake, please. Me, do you mean a milkshake or a frap? I mean a milkshake with ice cream. If you want ice cream, you want a frap. A milkshake just has milk and syrup. I'd like whatever has the ice cream. Okay, so she goes on to describe how she makes a frap. Here in New England, when you really think about it, a milkshake shouldn't be anything other than... No, she described it somewhere, didn't she? Oh, okay.
Are you having false memories, Chris?
No. I just needed to keep scrolling. This is the problem with fucking ads and pictures in articles. Because I looked like I was at the end of the goddamn article, and I still hadn't found your answer. But here is Amy's answer to your question.
Okay.
This is how this shit works. Amy talked right through the time tunnel, right to you.
She doesn't listen to the fucking show, Chris.
She listened to the show back in 2018. She somehow got a copy of episode number 227 back in 2018, and she wrote this paragraph
bullshit
for you.
Nope.
Now, this is Amy.
Maybe she'll listen to this episode.
So Amy writes,
because if you're tagging her in, like
the last time not necessarily the last time, but one of the times that I actually tagged somebody, it turned into a good 3-episode arc for us because that person then...
I didn't say anything bad. I said she was a bright individual because I agreed with what she was saying. Jesus Christ,
okay.
How is that going to cause a problem?
Okay. I'm the one that said something about her using a Maine-ism in her article about Massachusetts food.
Well,
so she'll get mad at me.
Amy, is it right?
Amy,
if you want to reach out to the show, reach out via email, not like having a Twitter conversation. If you disagree with what Chris said,
yeah. All right, so here's what Amy writes. She says, now, for those who wonder if a chocolate milkshake in New England is basically just a glass of chocolate milk, the answer is a resounding no. Chocolate milk is the casual stirring of chocolate syrup into a glass of milk. A chocolate milkshake is the vigorous shaking or blending of the two until the consistency is perfectly creamy and a frothy head is formed. I use the same stick blender in a tall glass pitcher to make this drink as well. So she uses the stick blender to make the
Okay,
frap.
so it's just...
So it
is basically that. It's just that you're mixing it more.
You are... Let's listen to what Amy said.
All right, I just listened to her.
A chocolate milkshake is the vigorous shaking or blending of the two until the consistency is perfectly creamy and a frothy head is formed.
So, I mean, it's not something that you can easily do in your home if you don't have the proper equipment.
This is true. Yes, you cannot just squirt a bottle of Hershey's chocolate high fructose corn syrup into your milk and stir it with a spoon to get a milkshake. That is a chocolate milk. If you want a milkshake, you gotta be vigorous about that shit.
All right. Well, then I'm not going to have either, so I don't care.
Here's this was one thing that Amy. This post was first published in 2015, so it's even more miraculous because she heard this episode back in 2015.
Wow, holy shit.
Here's a word I want to know if you've ever heard, because I had never heard this one. She writes, this is in her conclusion. Finally, to make matters even more confusing, if you're from certain parts of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts, you order a cabinet.
Is that like coffee?
I think so. So what is a cabinet? Basically, it's the same thing as a frappe, usually coffee flavored and made with autocrat coffee syrup, but it got its name because that's where the blender was kept. We like to keep milkshake loving tourists on their toes in New England.
Yeah, I mean that, and like you in the same area you can get gaggas.
Okay. When you say, I'm gonna try to keep this not dirty, but when you say you can get gaggas, what it made me
they're
think of,
called they're hot dogs. So I mean it's not this isn't like
I was thinking of the authentic
Rhode Island Gaga.
I was thinking of the authentic female massholes that they hired to be Mark Wahlberg's sisters in The Fighter. You ever see The Fighter?
Yes.
Right? And
filmed in Lowell, as we were talking about earlier.
Yes. And so the sisters in that, I gotta believe they were actually cast straight out of Lowell. Like they
crazy motherfuckers named what are Irish?
I don't know,
Irish
but
lady names.
they had that accent and the attitude and the look, right? I mean, they were not conventional Hollywood airbrushed to perfection actors. Like, these looked like real people that I might have bumped into at the Shop and Save
or at the Tower News.
I only went in there a couple times, Steve. I only went in there a couple times.
That's fine. What the fuck am I saying?
We were talking about ice cream, and so I know you don't do ice cream so much anymore. But...
So that reminds me.
Oh, does it?
Like fuck you. That reminds me of the wrestling show from prior to last week's show.
We alluded to this on last week's show, right? But
yeah, we
didn't get to it.
Ryan and I, we went to the wrestling show, and I had forgotten about like the best part of our experience there.
Yeah,
I think it was because it was before intermission.
Oh, okay, right.
Or maybe it was right after intermission. I don't even fucking know.
Yeah,
but it was a 3-way tag team match.
Oh, I like a 3-way.
And like there was a regular like guy that was dressed like a cop.
Okay.
And 2 luchador guys.
Okay.
That were kind of like, I think that had like crab names, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And then there was these 2 like old timey thieves.
Interesting. All right.
With another guy in a luchador mask and like the weird clown luchador mask and like an outfit. And his name was Ice Cream.
The wrestler's name was Ice Cream.
Yes. And he kind of looked like a sundae a little bit, like a clown sundae.
Oh, okay. What, did you get to see his finishing move, and did you get to hear what it was called?
His finishing move was like skulking off and being depressed. So
because he ate too much ice cream.
No, that he like everybody. I think it was his bit is to get off, and then everybody starts chanting ice cream because they wanted him to come back. I don't know if that's something that actually ever happened before that night, but like. I think ice cream was very quickly the fan favorite, despite him just being a douche and running away.
Did they now? You said they called for him to come back. Did they do the full on?
I'm not saying like we.
Okay,
as an audience, so like Ryan and I were super into ice cream.
You as part of the audience called for him to come back. Now, did you do the entire ice cream chant, or was it just his name? I mean, did you go? Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, or was it?
I think we might have done.
We all screamed for ice cream.
I think we did both.
All right.
If I recall correctly.
I mean, one of those is obviously superior to the other.
Like if it was before intermission, then I think it was before I had stopped enjoying whiskey.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. It might just be a teeny bit fuzzy, but
Right. Yeah, whiskey can do that to you.
Right. But yeah, ice cream, like, despite, like, the rest, like, that match was just, like, bonkers.
Yeah.
And the rest of them were just kind of like, whatever.
So it's a three-way, meaning 3 tag teams, or
there was
3 people on each team?
3 people on each team.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That at first, when you said 3-way, I was imagining three teams, and then when you explained it, I was like, oh, no, that sounds like 3
it was
people.
three on each tag team.
Yeah. At first, I was like, "What? Wow!" I think I've seen the quote unquote fatal 4-way where there's 4 tag teams, 1 on each corner. But I don't think I'd ever seen one that was
3 against 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, it was one that was like, a tag team on 3 of the 4 corners. I was like, how does that even work? So I'm glad to hear that the way you explained it is the way that it was, because that makes a lot more sense.
It's funny, like we were all chanting ice cream or whatever, and then like one of the guys that was on the other tag team, he turns to us and he goes, "He's not a good guy." I think he totally broke character, because like I don't think that, like, this is what makes me think that us chanting for ice cream to come back was not part of what was supposed to happen.
That would be. I mean, that's not exactly like the time that I went with you, where there was the guy who was obviously a better guy than the crowd, who was trying to get there to stop being homophobia, but he was the heel. It seems like, I don't know if it's that particular group of people that just don't seem to be able to keep character, or that crowd that does such unexpected things that the group of them just are like, what the fuck do we do with this?
God damn it, we don't want, like, ice cream was supposed to leave, but they want him to fucking come back, so I guess he has to come back. I think ice cream ended up winning, so like maybe they just changed gears. Like I don't think it was like a title match or anything.
Right.
Like, so you don't bring fucking ice cream into your wrestling match if there's a title on the line.
I wonder if he I think his finishing move should be like the quadruple scoop, right? I mean, it shouldn't be like that.
I don't know. Like he did not seem in any way muscular underneath his outfit.
Yeah.
But it was hard to tell because it was like draped on him.
Oh, okay.
So he might have just been like some weird skinny dude, and like it was like, oh, I get to be in a wrestling match.
You think it was because you think
maybe it was a make a wish kid. It's like, I get to wrestle, and then so he gets to do a couple of like, pretty easy, quote in quotes, wrestling moves, and then runs away, but then becomes a crowd favorite and has to fucking win.
Now, I don't want to disparage this particular wrestling organization, but I just got to say, if somebody being supported by the Make-A-Wish Foundation went for that instead of like the WWE, like I think they
maybe they really
fucking low.
Like, they really love chaotic wrestling, Chris.
They're like, you know what? I got the Make-A-Wish Foundation behind me. They'll give me anything I want. I want to go to the fucking Knights of Columbus.
I want to go to the Knights of Columbus in Woburn, Massachusetts. I want to dress like a fucking clown ice cream cone, and I want to fucking participate in a match, and then everybody's gonna love me.
So you think the Make-A-Wish Foundation people?
I don't think that at all. It was just a joke that I made, Chris.
And I was continuing with the joke. I was yes-anding you until we got to something
Until we got to the
funny.
part where I said, "Yep, no, there was nothing funny."
It was funny. I was imagining the Make-A-Wish people in the audience, like nudging. You know, they're incognito, right? And they're nudging the redneck next to him. And
Although,
going,
yeah,
hey,
I mean, he
don't
was
you like this ice cream guy? And this guy's like, no. And like the second time, like, yeah, that was pretty funny. And the guy's like, I guess. And the third time, they're like, this kid's got heart. And he's like, yeah, I guess this kid does have heart. Ice cream. You know.
No, you didn't have to nudge Ryan and I. We were on
were on
ice
ice
cream
cream.
team ice cream from the moment that fucking guy came out.
Oh boy, team.
I don't think he even had like a video for like. Or he might
He
have,
didn't have a video up
He
there.
might have he might have had a video. I don't know how much I was paying attention until I heard ice cream.
You were paying attention to the whiskey.
Well, no, I wasn't paying attention to the whiskey that much. But like the guys that came out before him, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's so and so, and they might have actually had a video for those two guys, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the old timey thieves.
old-timey
I don't know
thieves,
what
yeah.
the fuck. Like, why didn't like ice cream end up with the other luchador
with the
guys?
luchador guys,
And then the cop with the thieves.
Was it possible that the luchador guys and ice cream used to be a trio? Like they used to be part of some like conglomerate? What is the word in wrestling? It's like a faction, maybe.
Yeah,
They
like
used
the
to be-
Legion of Doom.
Yeah, or like Bobby Heenan's group of people, right? Bobby Heenan was the blonde guy.
The Brain.
Yeah, Bobby the Brain. Like his roster, not roster. His there's a word for it. God damn it. Ryan went with you, right?
Yes.
Ryan knows wrestling.
I don't know.
All right, Ryan, you know the answer to this, Ryan. When you listen to this, write us an email to hot@clarkwoods.com. There's a word that at least in the 80s, maybe in the 90s, that like...
Well, Ryan's younger than us.
Yeah, but he seems like an educated guy. He seems like the kind of guy, like if he likes wrestling, he knows the whole... I don't know. I'm just giving him a lot of credit.
Okay.
He's a fine
We're
fella.
just trying to like talk everybody up today.
Yeah, you know, why not? Yeah, I can't remember. At any rate,
So yeah, ice cream. If you are going to a chaotic wrestling match and you hear that ice cream is going to be there, tell me about it. Take a picture.
Yeah.
I think Ryan took a small teeny video of the match. I think I have it.
Oh yeah. Was there any while you dig that up, I wonder, was there any sort of special guest? The time that I went, there was some guy in town who had been...
Here it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so ice cream is in the...
Oh, it's I thought it maybe had audio. Okay.
It does not.
All right. So let's see.
Do I have to hold it down to make the thing happen?
Oh, is it a live
Yeah.
thingy? Yeah, if you hold down a
Oh,
live...
yeah. It was just a little bit. There we go. And he was getting out of the ring at that point.
Okay.
That was ice cream in the corner. So it wasn't...
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like the best part of the evening was ice cream. They should have saved that for the last bout.
Oh, I don't know. Some in the way you described it, I thought it was the last.
No, I said it was right before intermission.
Oh, that's
or
right.
right
Okay.
after intermission.
Right before, right after. I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
Um,
You're not even drinking whiskey.
Yeah, no. You talking about whiskey and ice cream made me think of a drink that maybe I've told you about before, but. And you're not going to have it, so because it involves orange juice, and you don't have orange juice, right? Because it's got too much sugar in it.
Well, it's like orange juice is all the flavor of oranges without any of the nutrition.
Okay. Well, so this was years ago.
Because fiber is important. Like that's what I'm saying. Like eat a fucking orange before you drink an orange juice.
I get it. This is a whiskey drink. Not a vodka drink. Not a sour drink.
And when I want to,
Ow.
when I want to pee, I use the kitchen sink. That was from The Simpsons.
Oh, well, that was also from Chumbawamba.
No, I know, but it was Homer singing that song.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to give credit where credit is due to the original artist,
Yes.
not just Homer Simpson.
I mean, maybe Dan Castellaneta was the person that wrote that song. Maybe he is Chumbawamba.
Maybe. Okay, so it was years and years ago. I was out following a performance of A Christmas Carol when I was doing theater out in Portsmouth.
You were following it?
We were out for drinks following a performance.
Okay, yeah.
So after a performance of A Christmas Carol, we were out. And
was it a traditional telling, or was it some sort of modern,
it was
like Scrooged update?
It was mostly a traditional retelling that my pals at the time the Ring, I don't know if they still do. The Players Ring in Portsmouth, where I did a ton of work for years, did the Christmas Carol every year, and it was based on a script by one of the founders. But as I was getting in there, people seemed to be getting... some people were getting tired of the script, and so each successive group of producers tried to liven it up in some way. So the way they livened it up that year was that they had a dad in the
You down there! What day is today?
They had a dad played
Christmas Day, sir. Here's some money.
Why do I try to answer your question?
Buy the biggest goose in the window over there.
Oh man. Okay. Now I do want, because that was my brother.
Yeah. Why? Because we both got it at the same time.
You got it, buzzed on the table and it dinged in my ear. Okay, so, and now it went on my wrist because I didn't look at it on my, because God damn it, I need to pay attention. If I don't answer it on my computer, right, then it dings my wrist. If I don't do it on my wrist, then it goes to my phone, or something like that.
You should have some sort of like anal taper implanted, so if
I don't pay attention to any of those, then
it buzzes your butthole.
Buzzes my butthole. No, so. All right, now I already started the story, so I need to finish it. Anyway, so that year, my friends rewrote the script. There was a dad in it who was telling the story of the Christmas Carol to his young daughter. I was the dad. My daughter doubled in the play, doubled as Tiny Tim. It was a great production, but stressful in the personal lives of a bunch of people in it. So we did go out to drink regularly. Now we're out to drink. And we're out to drink.
We had a drink or two
at the an English pub. What the hell was it called? I think they got it. It went out of there because Portsmouth sucks now.
Rusty Hammer.
No. This was over by
the one that burnt down. Where this podcast was born.
No, not that one. No, it was further away from the waterfront, and I don't remember the name of it. At any rate, it was right across from the greasy burger joint that Gillies, right across from Gillies, but I don't remember what the name of the place was.
I don't think it's that important to the story, unless
details matter, Steve.
Yes, but
so I forget how it came about, but maybe it was the waiter, or maybe it was somebody in our party had these before, but we were served up pancake shots. Now, pancake shots, if you're not familiar,
was it just like syrup and butter?
No. So a pancake shot, every time I've told somebody about this, they have either one of two reactions. They're like, bullshit, or I can't believe you would do that with whiskey. Like, I can't believe you would waste good whiskey on that.
So it's whiskey.
It's whiskey,
syrup, and butter.
So you've got a shit. Can I remember the ingredients? So you've got a whiskey. You've got a shot of whiskey. The whiskey is by itself, right? And I can't remember what you do first.
And then you mainline
you've got another
pancakes,
shot.
You get a short stack.
No,
there's a whiskey in the middle of it. Like they cut out the middle, and they put the whiskey in there. You have to eat all the pancakes.
Oh, God.
And then drink the shot.
You know how hard it is to tell a story to you.
It's likewise the same with you, Chris.
I don't interrupt your stories.
Bullshit.
Okay. Let me see if this is the... No, that's not right.
I'm just trying to buy you some time by coming up with some other fucking things that the pancake shot could be.
It's a shot of whiskey, and then the other thing is, I believe it's orange juice, and I forget which type of fucking liqueur. I think it's a type of liqueur,
like an orange, like a blue carousel, but not blue.
I don't know. It's something that could be, because I loved it so much. It was something that nobody had. My dad, as big as his liquor. Not cabinet, but liquor corner was
triple sec, maybe.
Could have been. I was just trying to look it up. But
what does orange juice have to do with pancakes?
Well, this is why when I explain it to people, they're like, that doesn't make any. That's butterscotch schnapps.
But that's not orange juice.
with no the but okay. Let me
The
make
butterscotch
sure
schnapps with the whiskey.
no, the butterscotch schnapps with the let me just make sure with the orange juice.
Is it one of those like flavor science things where it tastes like
I think
syrupy pancake because of like
yes, I think
the way
that's what
citrus is reacting to the
I
butterscotch
think
or
that's
whatever?
what it is. I'm trying to get something here
Like
that
with a
isn't-
birthday cake shot. It's like vodka and like frangelico with like a sugar rim and a lemon.
Yeah.
And those things together taste like chocolate cake.
Yeah. Okay. I was slightly wrong. The whiskey and the liqueur go together. So the whiskey and the butterscotch. I have not been drinking.
Do you want to?
No. The whiskey and the butterscotch liqueur are put into a shot glass. You pour the orange juice into a lowball glass. This part seems optional.
Oh, look at this. You're lowballing me, you motherfucker.
And you put according to this recipe, you put a piece of bacon across the top, which is not something I remember doing, but maybe we did because we had a lot of them.
A lot of bacons?
Yes. And? No. You shoot the shot and they chase it with the OJ. And that combination right there will taste like pancakes.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's probably like with the birthday cake shot.
Yeah.
Like because the lemon I think is the thing you do. No, I think you do the lemon first and then you do the shot. Because
Yeah.
I think the combination of all of the things makes the flavor chocolatey.
Okay. Interesting. I'll have to look that one up.
We've done birthday cake shots. I think
Have
at
we?
Fun Spot for my birthday in the past.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Maybe I had too many of those too. I'm a lightweight, you know.
Yeah.
I can't hold my liquor. Some guys just can't hold their arsenic. Do you know what that's from?
No. Princess Bride?
Chicago.
Oh.
I listened. I got on a whim the other day. I was like, I want to listen to this.
Becky probably was screaming it. If she heard it from the house, she was screaming it from the other side of the house. If she heard it like while she's listening to the show in her car, she's screaming Chicago.
She was just saying before we started recording that she does listen in the car, and there was something that she wanted to say.
Because like as the two boobs that we are,
we often say things that your wife needs to react to, but she's in the car.
Yeah, so she can't like write it down.
Right.
I guess she could, like talk to mobile device.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yo, dingus.
Yeah. And perhaps like write a note.
Right. Yeah.
But
maybe this one was traumatic enough that she's gonna be like, I can't believe you didn't know it was Chicago.
She knows I don't have an extreme fondness for musicals.
Yeah. It's a good one. I
think I actually did see the film adaptation.
Well, I have not seen the play, but I had the sound. Well, yeah, it didn't matter that I had the soundtrack. I just looked it up on Apple Music the other day in the car, and I listened to it. And then this morning, Stephanie and I have been getting up in the mornings and working out together, and we were, instead of doing something that was more guided, we were just doing aerobic today. So I put on a movie, and the movie that I put on was Chicago. We got through the first 30 minutes of it, and it's good. I really enjoy the especially the he had it coming bit that's in that. I think it's well filmed and well choreographed.
I mean, it fits in well for your self-hatred.
It does. He had it coming. That's been. I mean, I still want to talk about. We got like 22 minutes.
But
left.
are we cruising into Chris Therapy Corner?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. We'll see. I guess. No. I was gonna. So we got about 21.5 minutes left. We got to get to you've given me two prompts: survey and solve the case. We got to get to those things.
Oh,
but I just really quickly want to say that, like, yes, there is that that sort of born of that self-hatred. So it's not quite Chris's Therapy Corner is right over there, but we're not going in.
Okay.
So in my research, I've been doing lots of trying to find
whatever my body needed to make it feel better. The strange thing was, the more I took, the worse I felt, the more tired I felt, and I didn't understand it. Then I started looking at the concept of whole food nutrition. I thought, wow, this is interesting, getting nutrition from food. Well, I've tried everything else. Maybe this will work. That was one of the interstitials on our first album.
Oh,
was a lady talking about vitamins.
Okay, now that you say
it was a tape that Dan had. I don't know where the fuck he got it.
I feel like I've heard this before, but I couldn't remember where.
Yeah, it was on Hot Pants. It was I think pretty early on in the album was that lady talking about vitamins.
But it sounds like it could be a Netflix documentary today.
And I didn't understand it.
So anyway, I continue my quest for stories from the points of view of women about good men. And I was saying to Stephanie, I wrote a whole bunch of these down when people gave me the suggestions, but I've been so busy I haven't gone to any of their suggestions, and now I feel somehow deficient. There's Chris's therapy corner. I feel like I need to go and watch and read some of those things before I finish reading, and now I'm going to step away because I don't want to go into Chris's therapy corner. It looks dark and disturbing.
This will lead to one of the things on the list. So Friday night we went out with some friends in Salem, and we had a fun old time. Salem, Mass.
It's hard to have a fun old time in Salem, New Hampshire, since
I mean, you can if like Canopy Lake is open.
Yeah, that's true.
There's not a whole heck of a lot in Salem, New Hampshire, otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were there, and we were having some dinner and some fun, and we hung out with their pup, and he was super cute. Yeah, and we had a general good time. Because we're old, I'm old, and she
is your oldness
I think I'm
contagious?
rubbing. I think it's just rubbing off. We're let's just go to bed at 9:00. We didn't go to bed at 9:00, but we left earlier than we would if we were in our 20s, perhaps.
Right. Okay.
And so we made it home, and we decided to watch an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
This particular episode, I think, was poignant. Like it was a
very special Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well,
so not quite a very special, but
it wasn't. But it was speaking to the time.
Okay.
And while also being very funny, I really enjoy that show. I think it's one of those really great ensemble casts.
When you say to the time, is it a period piece? I don't know anything about
for
it.
the time now.
Okay, got it.
The episode was called "He Said She He Said She Said" by the seashore. No.
Thank you for saying it. I was like, I'm going to try to make that joke and I'm going to bungle it. So I'm just going to let Steve get there if he wants.
Yeah. So I mean, it was good. I recommend watching it. Mm-hmm. I think it dealt with, the Me Too stuff that's going on right now.
Yeah.
With the right emotional beats, but also on a funny show that, it was, I think it was very well done. Mm-hmm. And so we fell asleep for the very end. So we watched it again on Saturday morning.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
But apparently I passed out. I was out. And then Becky had difficulty getting me from asleep on the couch to asleep in the bed.
Got it.
And this was trying for her.
Oh, no.
And so when we eventually got into the bed...
where the magic happens.
Oh, yeah. It was... the thing that I said next was pretty magical.
Oh, no. That's an old MTV Cribs thing for people who don't know what that reference was. Sorry.
Oh, people knew we were talking about
I don't know if everyone does. We're old, Steve.
So... Apparently my butt was cold.
Wait, is that what you said?
No.
Okay.
But, freaking hell.
So you're getting into bed.
We're getting into bed, and I think I wrote it down earlier.
Okay, you're getting into bed. Your butt is cold. And it's been a real struggle for your wife, who's your loving wife, who adores you, but really at this point it's just like get into bed.
All right, so this is what I think. Approximately what I think I said. My bum is too cold. You need to warm it up so we can crack the case. And this was not something that I remember saying. I think I was just asleep and I was sleep talking.
All right,
I'm assuming like the crack the case part was like or solve the case or whatever. I don't know what the exact phrasing.
Well, you just said crack the case, so I'm changing it in my note to crack the case because also alliteration. But so you don't know if it's crack the case or solve the case.
Yeah, I mean, both are funny, I suppose. But I am assuming the reason why like that was in my brain is that that we watched a semi-funny cop procedural right before bed.
Were any of their butts cold? Or
I don't know. No, my butt is always cold.
Okay. So there's on the one hand there's my butt is cold, you got to warm it up, and then on the other hand, I
remember a long time ago we did Halloween in Salem, and it was Gina and Dave and Ryan and Beth actually too. That was the first time I had met them.
Oh, okay.
And some other folks that aren't necessarily affiliated with the show.
Got it.
So I will refrain from naming them.
Cool beans.
So yeah, so we were staying in a hotel in Peabody, or Peabody, as people outside of New England say.
People from away.
Yeah, people from away would say Peabody, and there was a bunch of us in the room, and I ended up as the little spoon to Gina, I think.
Okay.
And then Dave was her big spoon.
I don't want to interrupt your story. I got.
But one of the things that she had mentioned is that my butt was cold.
Did it just be?
I think it's just because it was cold.
Because you were just close to each other. It wasn't like she was touching.
She wasn't like all up
hand on the butt. Yeah,
all up ons. But I think I was just cold.
When you're the little spoon to somebody's big spoon, if your butt is cold, that's gonna really. I mean, which part of the body is gonna make them really cold? But let's just imagine their belly. And like your belly's pretty warm at night, so like you got your cold butt pressed up against your friend's belly, and she's gonna be mad.
Yeah. I think that's probably why she mentioned it.
So let me ask you this. This might be too personal, so don't answer if you don't want to. Are you in your own relationships over time with people that you've slept in the same bed with? Are you more often the big spoon or the little spoon?
Neither.
Oh, okay. So there's no spooning at all.
I don't know.
Because you hate ice cream.
I do like ice cream, Chris.
Sorry. What about the spoons?
It's just that it's often weird to be the big spoon because I'm not that much taller than a majority of like the people I've been with. So like I'm not like overhead, and so lots of hair in my face often. Yeah. And then the other way, I don't know. Imagine it's good for them to have my cold butt on them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I asked that because I'm gonna admit something. I feel self-conscious about this, but I'm always we don't fall asleep that close to each other. I can't fall asleep if we're cuddling or whatever. I am always the little spoon.
So usually, what happens now is that I will lie on my back and Becky will like nuzzle in right around here.
Okay, so you're like
my shoulder blade.
You're like on the fork.
Yes,
and
she's another utensil.
She's the knife. I don't know, the spoon. What could?
She's the pizza cutter.
No, but it's okay. Wait. I think this would work. If you are a fork because you're on your back and she's the spoon, you could put a fork down and take the spoon and lean it against the fork, and you'd have.
The spoon could also go, or if she was also a fork, she could fit.
Okay, so you could both be forks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fork you. Is it weird that I'm the little spoon?
It doesn't matter, Chris. Okay, as long as you are comfortable in your relationship, then it doesn't fucking matter.
I am quite comfortable in my relationship. It's because I wonder if there's even any way around it when you pick the sides of the bed or whatever. Because I have to sleep on my right side facing away from the center of the bed.
That's usually how I sleep, and I'm on the right side of the bed.
And
I mean, that's usually when we eat at a restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
We will sit that way.
Yeah.
Just because Becky's left-handed and I'm right-handed, so
well-
if we sit like that way,
Yeah.
she's eating with her left, I'm eating with my right,
Right.
and we're not bumping elbows.
Got it. Yeah. Well, so
And it's similar, like on the couch, I sit on the right side, she sits on the left, and in bed, it's.
well, that makes. I mean, you've got a legit.
But that makes no sense. It doesn't matter for like sitting on the couch or the bed. But
Right.
I think just the right side has always been my side.
Yeah. Well, but in we're Stephanie and I are both right-handed, so there's no like I don't know how this particular arrangement worked out, but she is also mostly a side sleeper, and she sleeps on her left side, looking away from the center of the bed.
So you guys are touching butts.
We're touching butts. If we're touching it, we used to have a king size bed, so we used to be like so far apart from each other. We were basically any music video that's being shot to show that the couple isn't getting along anymore. I've seen a number of these, and I think this is what makes me so self-conscious about it. Is I'll see whether it's a music video or a movie or whatever, and the way that the director chooses to show that the couple isn't close anymore is that their backs are to each other and they aren't even touching.
I'm not one of those people that can fall asleep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can fall asleep, but like once someone moves, like
Yeah.
I will be up. So like I can't sleep well when when like, so I mean, I don't mind the pre-sleep snuggle.
Yes,
but
exactly.
like
but once it's
time to sleep, I'm rolling over on my side and we're sleeping.
See, I'm glad we're talking about this because I have lots of things that I feel uncomfortable about in my role, and you make me feel better.
Good.
You had the word survey on the list.
That
was the other thing that we haven't.
This was the least important thing, so it's good that we got to it last.
Yes, yeah.
It was just I purchased because I love buying Final Fantasy games more than once. I purchased Final Fantasy 9 for my Nintendo Switch,
right?
And
which is really like Final Fantasy 21, right, in Japan or something.
No, it's actually 9.
Is it 9? Sorry, I'm just giving them shit.
So what was it? So like I hadn't played it yet because I've been working on a couple other games, but I felt it necessary to buy this fucking game on this particular day. I think the day it came out or whatever. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I had credit. Like it's not like I spent more money.
There you
go. And so I bought it, and they sent me a survey.
Okay.
And
they like, being the developer? Oh, no, Nintendo did.
It wasn't Square. It was Nintendo. It was like, oh, how are you enjoying your game? And I said, I haven't played it yet. And so like I filled out the survey.
Yeah.
And I kept on like giving it middling reviews.
Oh, boy.
Because
Steve, oh gosh.
They're like, how would you recommend this? And I would always pick, I can't say either way or whatever that option was. And they're like, could you elaborate why? And I'm like, because I haven't played the game.
Steve, don't you know
I want my 30 platinum coins or whatever that they get for taking the survey, but I also don't want to lie on the survey.
Okay. But don't you know, how much do you know about surveys and customer service?
I haven't been on that side of retail, so not a lot.
Okay. So, and I haven't been in retail.
It's not like I got like a salesperson helped me with this fucking game purchase.
Oh, I know, but this same principle ends up applying on, I think to a lesser extent on course evaluations and all sorts of evaluations and surveys in general. And so this is my understanding, both working as a teacher and also having worked a couple of years at the Apple Store. The only acceptable answer on a survey for anyone who is being surveyed is
whatever the highest mark is,
an 8, 9, or a 10.
Okay.
Generally speaking, a 7 or below means somebody's getting talked to. And it's so ridiculous. Like
so the next time Bank of America sends me a survey, I'm doing 7s or below.
Yeah, then somebody's getting talked to, and you might get another survey. But
maybe they'll give me a credit on my account.
They are just I mean, this leads to all sorts of things where, like, if I go to the what is it? The mechanic at my dealer, like I I don't know, after years of having bad luck with local mechanics, I just started going to the dealer and dealing with them upcharging me. But if you go to either of the dealers that I take my wife or my car to, they will end.
Your wife in your car. Is your wife your car? Is this like a television, like my wife the car?
If you go to either of the dealers that I take a car to,
my wife the car.
they will close every interaction. So after they've charged you way too much for all of the stuff that they've done, they will say, and you may get a survey in your email. I hope that you'll be able to rate me all 5 stars, because if not, sometimes they trail off after the if not.
If not, I might get fired.
Yeah, it just, this culture around surveys is really.
How about this? Like, provide me with a service that is exceptional, and I will give you a rating that is exceptional.
Yeah. And yet because I understand it, I buy into it. So if I go to an Apple store, because I used to work at an Apple store, as long as it's not terrible, and I know that they're not on commission, and I know that surveys and their aggregate rating are basically what, at least it's how retail used to work, is what Apple retail uses to work with someone to give them a raise and things like that. So if I go to an Apple store and the interaction is even just mildly positive, I will give them 9s and 10s, because I know that it's going to help that person. But
what if it's bad?
If it's bad, I just won't fill out the survey.
Or
if it's really bad, I mean, so how bad are we talking? Are we talking like 2s and 3s? Or are we talking like 5,
yeah,
6?
like if you had like such a bad experience, like,
well, so when this laptop, I love you laptop. Don't get mad. Actually, it wasn't this laptop. It was the one that this laptop replaced. So my previous laptop, I brought into the Apple Store, and maybe I talked about this at the time. They sent it away to Depot, which is their term for just sending it away to some other part of Apple that has more tools at its disposal than the store.
So basically, they're sending it to a farm out in the Midwest, where the dog is going to, computer is going to live.
Yes. So they sent my computer off to Depot. They supposedly redid the entire motherboard. I was under warranty. There was nothing. There's nothing I did. So it was all
except
covered.
for the excessive amount of jizz in it.
Yes. And I got it back, and the problem I had was still there. And in that case, I wrote a scathing thing, because I was that mad. But it has to be that mad. If it's just middle of the road, I just won't bother doing the survey.
Okay.
And I'm not proud of that.
I'm hoping that maybe they'll read my responses.
Yeah.
Because I didn't play this game yet.
Right.
A bunch of times.
Yeah.
Don't send me the survey until you see that I've activated the app, because I know you have access to fucking my play times and whatnot.
They're not supposed to. Well, I don't know what their privacy policy is. Different companies.
I'm sure it's they know full well. So know that I haven't played the fucking game yet.
Yeah.
I have not started the app or have played it for more than 2 seconds or whatever.
See, and this is where I'm coming around to a different way of thinking. I was up in Maine yesterday talking with my brother-in-law, who knows of my past, not disgust for Google, but knows that I'm sensitive about privacy issues and ads and things. But I'm coming around to this different way of thinking, which is,
I like how you're obsessed without privacy, but you've done a podcast for the past let's just say 227 weeks.
But I am choosing to share what I'm sharing.
Okay.
Right? So anyway, my new way of thinking is that I'm really coming around to the idea that if in your case, I have bought a game from Nintendo, I have put money there, I am okay to a certain extent with them mining whatever data they can get out of our relationship to make our relationship better. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to sell that data to somebody else. That's the part that pisses me off. But what I'm sitting here and realizing is, like, if being a part of the Google ecosystem right, will help me better understand what is going on with my website and who comes to my website and whatever, I'm willing to use Google. I don't want them to sell all that data to someone, but if we enter into a relationship, go ahead and look at the whole of our relationship and make it better. So I think Nintendo.
I think this is a conversation for another time, Chris. And I think maybe like if one of our listeners or multiples of our listeners have something to say about this, and this is at the end of the show, so this might be a perfect time.
This might be a perfect time for you to say
that you could email us. hot@clarkwoods.com is the email address. Send us an email about how you feel about internet privacy.
That would be great. We could do a whole,
and then we can have a whole fucking show about it.
I dig it.
Look at that. Tune in next time on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z.